Our next speaker is Dr. Gabriela Wilson. She envisions AI as a catalyst for inclusive public health, harnessing its power to create a healthier, more equitable future for all communities. Dr. Wilson.
Hello. Well, still awake? Okay, me too. Well, that introduction was not as funny as other people here, so I'm going to try to have my short presentation very entertaining. So promise, I don't have graphs, I don't have data, I don't have algorithms. I just want to get you excited about this and show you how can we use artificial intelligence, machine learning, natural language processing, LLM, all of these acronyms that you heard throughout the day to really help public health advance, detect, and be able to make sure that we have access to the information before a disaster happens, like the pandemic. The work I'm going to describe today was mostly done at the University of Texas at Arlington with my team there. I joined the University of Louisiana Lafayette August 1st of this year. I just celebrated my 3-month anniversary. And I'm still excited, and I still love this place, and I hope I can say this in 10 years from now. So lots of opportunities, great presentation today, but I decided to focus on the use of artificial intelligence for public health purposes, because this is when I really started utilizing this amazing technology that maybe 10 years from now it's going to be called what, a BHI or something like that, to really help when everybody was home and doing nothing but be on social media. I thought this is something we need to pay attention. And of course we paid attention to this in 2016, we paid attention to this in 2020, and I'm not going to say why, you put the pieces together. And we paid attention to 2024. So lots of influences that we see in public health actually are driven by political discussions. And these social media insights that I'm talking about, the fact that we can monitor real time what's happening, conversations that happen related to healthcare and public health. I didn't want to put politics in this. However, we need to pay attention to those conversations as well. And predictive analytics, all of these things together can help us be better prepared if we have another event happening. So social media being used as a public health lens is very powerful. First of all, you're able to analyze huge amounts of conversations in real time and identify toxic posts and how harmful those toxic conversations can be towards a public health intervention. And then you look at who are the influencers, who are the people, who are the organizations that are propagating this type of conversations. How can you work with these organizations or groups to be able to provide the real good information so you counterattack the misinformation that's happening? And then you can start measuring, does this have a real impact? If we do this, do we see an uptake in vaccination rate, for example? So I'm going to show you a few of the things that my group focused on from a research perspective. I'm talking today, but with a very entertaining flavor. We looked at the bystander effect. So we looked at toxicity that happens on social media platforms, and specifically in this case was Twitter. So we wanted to identify what are the groups that are propagating toxicity and how are people interacting with the content. You would assume that most people will start saying, no, you're not right, this is the evidence, right? But it's like in real life, when bullying happens, what happens with the individuals who don't like what's happening? They take a bystander effect, right? They don't want to have anything to do with that. Let me stay out of trouble. That's exactly what we identify through social media analysis, which means that through our study, we show that when toxicity happens, people start disappearing from the platform, and the propagation of only negative toxic posts is going to continue and multiply. This is no good, especially when you're talking about health interventions and public health interventions. So we need to make sure that we stay engaged, and as public health officials, pay attention to activity that's happening on social media. During the vaccine, COVID-19 vaccine, we heard lots of the studies being done. There are many, many publications out there. Of course, we did the same. I was in North Texas at that time, and I was fortunate enough to receive, with my group, funding from Tarrant County Public Health through a CDC grant to help them with vaccination, increased vaccination rate. So we wanted to understand what causes a decrease in vaccination. Everybody was very excited when the vaccine became available, and all of a sudden, within 2 months, like, boom, down. Was that because of the misinformation, disinformation, or positive sentiments, negative sentiments that were happening through social media? So we did this analysis at the country level, and of course, once we started focusing on what was happening in Tarrant County, that paper is now in preparation because we included also public health data, real time, to find the correlation. We realized in North Texas we had a Hispanic population that was majority minority, and Twitter was not a good platform for us to analyze this type of behavior because they were using Facebook. So what we did, we started analyzing both English and Spanish social media activity to be able to understand how people look at vaccination rates. And of course, the credibility. If you give people good information, credible information, the outcome is going to be positive. If you don't only give misinformation, they will think that this is what they need to follow. From the vaccination, we really moved into other very controversial issues like abortion in Texas. You know, we were the first state to really ban abortion. And we started really looking at the national level, but also focusing on Texas, on how people react to that. And of course, ChatGPT, it's cool because now we can use ChatGPT to really train the model to identify misinformation, but also provide the reliable sources to counterattack that type of information. So this is very important. It does matter. It can help us address early on crises that can exist related to public health. Also, we can amplify the diverse voices, especially the minorities that are never heard, or different languages. And the future is bright. If I would have used the voice now, you wouldn't have listened to my accent like this. You would hear a very fancy person. But thank you so much, and thank you for this opportunity.